So one of the biggest questions that a lot of people are asking is, when is altcoin season happening? Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about a few charts in order for an altcoin season to happen. Now, I know a lot of people are actually looking at the season, which is currently sitting at 59, but they're not looking at the altcoin year. Now, the real altcoin season is actually going to happen once we actually break this top right here at 54, because that's when the real altcoin year starts. That's when all the altcoin starts exploding. Now, we know historically, when we do peak above the altcoin season on the 75, we don't really tend to see altcoins pumping for long. So that's not really what we want to see. What we want to see is on the altcoin year. We're going to be having a look at these three graphs right here. And if you guys were in my Discord yesterday, I did tell you guys to be careful, because we could actually see Bitcoin get rejected at 102.5. On Bitcoin, we had a massive order block right here, and you guys can see we actually did indeed get rejected. And I said that in order for us to pretty much remain bullish, we need to break that order block at 102.5, and that's not what happened. We actually got rejected at 102.5, unfortunately, right here. And you guys can see that Bitcoin is actually breaking the volume profile, coming back down. And the big question is, where is Bitcoin actually going? So let's have a look at some of the news real quick before we dive in on the three charts on Bitcoin, the total and the Bitcoin dominance. We could see right here that yesterday, Bitcoin ETF inflow $978 million. Obviously, that is very darn bullish. January 3rd, which was a couple days ago or a few days ago, we actually saw another ETF inflow of close to $1 billion. So the past two active days, daily candle, I guess you could say, on the BlackRock ETF or the total ETF, we saw close to $2 billion of inflows, which is of course extremely bullish for Bitcoin on the longer time frame. Now, having a look right here, this is actually Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. We did have that nice little order block right here. This is the order block that I was talking about, and I did mention that if Bitcoin does get rejected, we could actually see altcoins actually crash. Now, the next order block that I would like to see Bitcoin actually come back down to is probably sitting right here at $97,000. We did have a bullish order block right here, as you guys can see. So this is obviously a very key important level. You guys can see we also have some support right here. So this resistance right here actually flipped to a nice support region. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we actually see something like that. Now, going to the total, what can we see? Well, it looks like the total is actually respecting what Bitcoin is doing. It seems like on the total, we're actually going to come back down and retest this level right here, sitting at $3.39 trillion before having the next explosive move to the upside. Now, we know, guys, historically, every time we usually come back, right? So look, this was a bullish order block right here, right? And we know historically, every time we essentially have this massive moves to the upside on Bitcoin or altcoins, we usually have a 0.5 retrace or retrace to the 0.5 on the Fibonacci level. And you guys can see right here, the Fibonacci is currently sitting right here, which is right below $3 trillion. Now, the big question is, can we see one leg to the downside before exploding to the upside? Well, I would only see this if we actually break this level right here. If we break 3.39, I actually wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to $3 trillion, which would be pretty bad. That means altcoins would bleed. Now, that's a 17% drop from here. Now, it might not seem like a lot, but of course we know that 57% of the dominance is on Bitcoin. That means assuming Bitcoin does drop 17%, sorry, you could actually expect Bitcoin to essentially come back, not to the lows, but you could expect Bitcoin to, come back to $87,000. Now, I've been calling Bitcoin $87,000 for a long time. For over 3 weeks, I've been calling that Bitcoin could potentially go to $87,000, and it's not out of the range just yet, and we're not out of the woods yet. Now, if we get a nice bounce on the total at 3.4 trillion, 3.39, that would be a very bullish sign for altcoins and, of course, for Bitcoin. Now, going into the Bitcoin dominance, why is the Bitcoin dominance so important? A lot of people don't understand what the Bitcoin dominance is. Well, the total market cap, right? The total crypto industry is currently sitting at a market cap of $3.5 trillion. And what does this mean? That means that 57.53%, you guys can see right here, the Bitcoin dominance on the right side of my screen, 57.53% of the whole crypto industry is currently sitting on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now is currently sitting right under $2 trillion market cap. That means that a little bit above 57% is into Bitcoin. So all the money is in Bitcoin right now at the very moment. So that's what's happening, and that's what the Bitcoin dominance means. Now, typically, when do we see an altcoin season? Well, we usually see an altcoin season when Bitcoin consolidates, for a very long time. People are getting impatient. People are looking to essentially put their money somewhere else, and people want to see their money grow. So what they're going to do after they lose patience, they're going to essentially take their money and put it into altcoins. And this is how we get the altcoin season. And this is why we need to see the Bitcoin dominance pretty much drop. Now, in order for us to see a real altcoin season, we need to see a massive drop in the dominance. We can't just see these little 2% dump. That's not going to really do much. We need to see a nice 8, 9, even 10% drop. Okay, even 20% drop. We need to see big drops that are meaningful in order for us to see a Bitcoin dominance. So by the way, if you guys are interested in joining TOOBIT right here, you guys can actually get a $30,100 bonus. Link will be in the description below, obviously. So if you guys are interested in that, and if you guys do want to follow me on Twitter, make sure you guys, click on the link in the description below as well. And if you guys do want to follow my Discord, the completely free Discord, make sure you guys click on the link in the description below. You guys can get access to my VIP chat right here, or you guys can get access to, my Patreon Gold, Patreon Diamond, but general chat is free, trading chat is free. You guys can see we're making some pretty good money on the trading P&L, but overall, that's what's happening. We're going to have to see really what happens with Bitcoin within the next 48 hours, what happens with the total within the next 48 hours. Are we going to come back down? Is 3.39 going to hold? I will update you guys as soon as possible, but if we do get this bounce right here, you could expect a very bullish bounce and bullish signals on not on altcoins but on Bitcoin as well. If you guys like this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, leave a like, and